My name is Bhishma Asare. Some of you know me as Prof. I'm not going to tell you the specifics about my business yet, but I am going to tell you I'm an entrepreneur and business owner. I grew up in South London just like many of you. I went to a nursery called Heathbrook, and then I later moved on to a primary school called Macaulay School. Macaulay School is very different to how it is when I was going there. When I was going there, I'd get into a lot of trouble for the silliest of things. The silliest thing that I ever did in Macaulay School was steal money from my teacher. Should I have stolen money from my teacher? Of course not. I should not have stolen money from my teacher. And when I was getting into trouble for this, the head teacher at the time, who is not the head teacher now, turned around and said to me, "You have no potential." But throughout this speech, what I want to do is I want to unravel this word potential. I want to really delve deeper into what this word potential means. If we look at the Google definition of the word potential, it says showing the capacity to develop into something in the future. The key word here is develop. In order for you to develop, you must make mistakes. In order for you to develop, you must hit hurdles. In order for you to develop, you must be willing to critically analyze yourself. When I finished primary school, I went on to go into secondary school. I attended Bishop Thomas Grant School in Streatham. At the time when I attended the school, it wasn't the best of the best, but it was developing into becoming something fantastic. And in secondary school, there were so many rules. It was a lot different. It was so much more different to primary school. There were so many more rules, but this actually fueled the fire in me and nurtured my entrepreneurial spirit. One of the rules was we wasn't allowed to sell anything in school. But every single morning, what I'd do is I'd go against the grain and go against the rules, and I'd take my lunch money and I'd go to Sainsbury's or the corner shop or whatever shop was available at the time, and I'd purchase cookies or donuts or drinks or anything that I could get my hands on, and I'd sell it in school. One of the biggest mistakes in secondary school was going to the corner shop and seeing these lollipops and deciding to sell these lollipops in school. This was one of the biggest mistakes, because when you go to a school like mine, nobody has the decency to throw wrappers in the bin. So instantaneously I got caught because students were throwing their wrappers on the floor. I got put on something called category, and this is where you're taken out of your classes and you have to go to other classes until your parents come in for a meeting. And after that meeting, I kind of put selling aside, and I decided to go with my other passion, which I had already been involved in, which was rap.
House on the hills, 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 house on the hills,
Rap was the perfect outlet for me. I didn't particularly enjoy all aspects of school, and this gave me the opportunity to write about my experiences, write about my feelings, write about everything inside me. And I was growing up in an area where there's a lot of guns, there's a lot of drugs, there's a lot of violence, and it was so normalized. And every single day I'm waking up, I'm hearing sirens, I'm hearing screaming, I'm hearing dogs barking, there's never silence. So the lyrics which I wrote gave me the opportunity to put silence to the surrounding problems that were occurring in my everyday life. And I was always writing lyrics. I was always perfecting my craft. From the back of maths class when I was writing in the book, all the way to my bedroom where I was still writing, on the bus on the way to school, all the way to the playground to where it was the battle of the best. And I was the best of the best. The hard work, the talent, the dedication that I put in, this all allowed me to unravel and unlock my hidden potential and show everyone that I was the best rapper in the playground.
Dorsey, and I ride in the rhythm as if it was horsey. Look at a guy, he wants to warm me, bore me, shank me, hurt me, floor me, but no, it's not going down, cause I drop a G's phone and I draw for the sound, draw for the lyrics and draw for the pronoun. It's 8 bars back to back, it goes round. Wanna know why I looked at him, cause I like that t-shirt he was wearing. That's the only reason I was steering. Went on a acting, went on a beat, ting, ting. And these roads are raw, and the kids think it's gang just to break law. But they're not secure, cause they're up and down just like a seesaw.
And not only was I the best in the class, my wordplay was phenomenal, and I ensured that I had a vision throughout this whole process. I ended up going to college and going to university and even did a postgraduate degree, but none of these things allowed me to feel as free as I did when I was writing lyrics. Fast forward a couple of years and I pretty much did every single job that you can imagine. I was a researcher, I loaded planes, I sold cars, I sold flights, I worked in the cinema, I was a courier. But the job that allowed me to be the freest was when I was a bus driver. The reason why I felt so free as a bus driver was because it didn't matter if it was 3 degrees or if it was 23 degrees. I'd always wear my hat. And not a hat like this, I'd always wear a hat like this. And the reason why I wore that hat was because I was secretly listening to instrumentals and writing lyrics when I was on the bus. I'd bring my lyric pad onto the bus with me, and I'd pull up at the bus stop when I had a good bar in the back of my head, just to write it down. And I'd press that button at the top of the bus that says,
"The driver has been instructed to wait at this bus stop for a short time to help even out the service."
It wasn't regulating the service, I was writing lyrics in my lyric pad. I did it so that the lyrics wouldn't pop out of my head by the time I get to the next stop. And as a bus driver, I was able to arrange things around my schedule, which meant that I was able to arrange video shoots in my break time. So I'd arrange music video shoots in my break time, and then I'd quickly run back to the garage for my next shift. And in 2017, I created an EP. And for those of you who don't know what an EP is, it stands for an extended project. It's similar to a mini album, and the EP that I created had 6 songs on it, and I called the EP Invisible Guidelines.
I could tell you about the grind and the struggle, man, it's real. I'm from a place where they shot O's and pop pills. I'm from a place where they grab the pump and run up in the store with the valley and tell them to give up all the bills. Man, I'm from here, yeah, I'm from here. If you're Godzilla, then I'm King Kong here. I spit what I see on an everyday basis, so my brothers know that these ain't just songs here.
And this project was about my life, it was about my area, it was about the guidelines which we see growing up and how we're directed to follow certain guidelines by the wrong people. This was positive music in a negative environment, and this is what I released. And when I released it, it got a lot of media attention. So the Metro, the Guardian, the Advertiser, they all wrote stories on Invisible Guidelines. They all wrote positive stories about the music which I was creating. The media attention that I was getting was fantastic, and the industry isn't really designed for positive music, especially when it comes to rap music. I was sitting in a coffee shop with my older brother, and I was telling him that the way the music industry is designed, it's not designed in a way that you get a lot of money as an artist. You get a lot of fame, of course, but the money wasn't amazing. So as we're sitting there in the coffee shop, in that moment, we decided, all right, let's try and start some sort of business. And he said to me, "You have until I finish this sandwich to write down 5 ideas on what type of business you'd like to start." In my head, it was always going to be something music related. But music related also means that it might be a generic idea. It might not be an original idea. So I knew I had to think very, very quickly. The reason I had to think quickly was simply because he's a fast eater. So I wrote down as many ideas as I could. I got to about 5, and as he finished off his sandwich, he turned around to me and he said to me, "What do you have?" The 5 ideas that I had, some of those ideas on that page were generic ideas. Some of them said something along the lines of managing artists, building a studio, but the one that really, really stood out to me was helping young people learn to express themselves through rap. And it was there on the page, and I looked at it and I was like, that's the one. So I said to myself, what if every single young person that I'm ever in contact with learns the skill to be able to write about how they feel in the form of a rap? They could write about their deep inner feelings on a piece of paper, the same way that I was expressing myself when I was younger, which strengthened my mental health and made me a stronger person. So I started a community interest company called Rap Therapy, and this is where a team of people and myself go into schools and youth establishments, and we deliver workshops, and we give out prizes, and we inspire young people, and we teach young people, most importantly, how to express themselves. And the journey hasn't been easy. It's not been a walk in the park. There's been ups, there's been downs, but I want to go back to this word potential, and I want to match this with another word called persistent. Everything that I've ever done in my life, I've always been persistent. I've never been the smartest in the room, but I have been the hardest working in the room. I've never been the person who knows every single thing, but I have been that person that if I don't know this, I'm going to go and find it out. It's about persistence. Now, as I said, I'd be the first to admit it. I'm not the smartest in the room. I put my hands up and say, nope, I'm not the smartest in the room. But part of being a good leader is being able to learn a little bit about a lot of things. Every single experience that I've been through, every single job that I've had, I've learned a little bit about a wide range of things. And I've taken the small things from all of these jobs and all of these experiences, and I've instilled it into Rap Therapy, and I've made it into a way that works for my organization and strengthens my organization. So if we're going back to this word potential, I want you to know that no one can ever turn around and say you don't have potential. Potential needs to be unlocked, and it needs to be activated. And you need to be persistent, and you need to give 100% effort in every single thing that you do. And if I, a disruptive, naughty, distracted young boy, can do it, someone like you can definitely do it as well. Thank you.